don't want to scare anyone, but I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason.
Hello, and welcome to the Crossover Podcast, and that's the Warpath. Going live here for the 2022 NHL Draft for our Buffalo Sabres, and it's going to be an exciting one. We've got 3 picks today. We've got the 9th pick, the 16th pick, and a late 20s pick, so not too exciting with the late pick, of course, but you never know. Those guys end up flourishing. There's been a number of guys throughout history who have flourished in that last spot. Taking a peek here at what we've got, just give you the top 10 order. Again, my name's at J Don't Fade, as you can see up here on the banner. Fluorescent green today, I guess, and red. So keeping the theme going, a little bit of Bills Mafia on there, of course, for all our Bills fans as well. We've got, for the top 10, we've got, of course, the Montreal Canadiens. They won the lottery. They come in at number 1 with the first pick, which I would bet tons and tons of money on. Is probably going to be Shane Wright. The second overall pick is the New Jersey Devils. The third overall pick is the Phoenix Coyotes. And the fourth overall pick, of course, the new expansion team, which everybody's very excited about, especially in Seattle, the Seattle Kraken. The fifth overall pick is the Philadelphia Broad Street Bully Flyers. We've got at the 6th pick the Columbus Jackets. And we've got in the 7th pick, we've got Chicago Blackhawks. 8th pick, Detroit. Of course, 9th pick is us, the Buffalo Sabres. And the 10th pick is the Ducks. Just to give a quick shout out to the rest of the draft board so you can know how we line up teams that are in front of us, maybe for some thought processes throughout the draft, see who's going to go where, what they're going to do, see when the first goalie goes, all that good stuff. Sabres could be in the market for a goalie, honestly. Yes, whoever they get is probably going to be young in the NHL already, but they've got 3 picks, right? So you've got a chance where you can maybe blow a pick, not so much blow a pick, but spend a pick early on somebody that you really, really want just to fill the board and really, draft for need rather than maybe just drafting best available. The NHL is different in that way. So the picks after 10 preceding the Anaheim Ducks, we've got the San Jose Sharks, again, then the Jackets. So as you can see, the Jackets have 2 picks in the top 12. They've got the 12th pick and they got the 6th pick, or the 6th pick and the 12th pick. 13th pick, New York Islanders. 14th pick, Winnipeg Jets. 15th pick, Vancouver Canucks. 16th pick, our Buffalo Sabres. 17th pick, Nashville Predators. 18th pick, Dallas Stars. 19th pick, Minnesota Wild. 20th pick, Washington Capitals. 21st pick, Pittsburgh Penguins, their rivals. Back-to-back there. Strange. 22nd pick, Anaheim Ducks. Update you on them. They have 2 picks in the top 22. They've got the 22nd pick, and they've got the 10th pick, as we said. So 10th and 22nd for the Anaheim Ducks. Looking to probably, they're in the middle of a rebuild, but continue the rebuild. 23rd pick, we've got the St. Louis Blues and our old friend Ryan O'Reilly. Won't mention that again. I mentioned it last time, I believe, but we'll mention it again after this. 24th pick is Minnesota Wild. Update the Minnesota Wild. They've got 2 picks in the top 24. Of course, it's probably easier to say they got 2 picks in the between 19 and 24. They've got pick 19 and 24. So nothing too early there for them. Moving on, 25th pick is the Toronto Maple Leafs. We hate them, of course. 26th pick, Montreal Canadiens. Updated the Canadiens. They've got 2 in the top 26. They've got the first pick, of course, most valuable by far in this draft with the first pick, and they have 26th pick, of course. 27th pick, there you go again. You've kind of got, you can see how it rounds out here. 27th pick, you've got the Phoenix or Arizona Coyotes. You've then got 28th pick is us there with our last pick of the first round. Then you got the Edmonton Oilers in 29. 30th, again, Winnipeg Jets. Updating the Jets, they've got 30, and they've got 14. So 2 between 14 and 30 being numbers 14 and 30. And 31st pick goes to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Runners up this year, I guess is the best way to say it, because Colorado won. And then you go to, again, you've got Arizona Coyotes there, Phoenix Coyotes, whatever you want to call them. Same thing, really, right? So as you see, the Coyotes also have 3 picks in the first round. They have the 3rd pick, they have the 27th pick, and the 32nd pick. That's a good discussion to have. Who would you take? As the draft is just now getting started, we're waiting for these picks to start coming in, of course, see where people are going to start going, who's going to get drafted. I think the first pick should be pretty unilateral and well known at this point. I don't see it coming in yet officially, but when that does, as the picks come in, I'll keep you updated. What the plan is here, guys, before we get into discussion. I know I was going somewhere with the scenario I was going to bring up, but before we get into the discussion, essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead. We're going to go up to the 9th pick. Well, not up to. We're going to go up to and including the 9th pick being our Buffalo Sabres. We're going to see who they take first off the board. Have a little discussion between now and then. Cover the picks between now and then. As someone gets drafted, I'll announce it. We'll go over their scouting profile real quick. See what people are saying about them, what they think, and how we think they can help that team in the coming future. So we'll be looking things up live. Obviously, line combinations, things like that. Just kind of flowing and getting the discussion going, right? Getting everybody excited about hockey again. As I would assume most people are here in Buffalo. It's a very exciting season. Towards the end at least, and really for a good part of the season, I attended a lot of games and I actually enjoyed a lot of them. So, there were still some blowouts and still some things that, us as a team and really us as a fanship as well can get better at. But I think those things are coming in time, and I think we're finally on the right path. So as those picks come in, we'll give them out to you. Like I said, I'm not seeing anything official yet. I think we all know where the first pick will go. But like I said, nothing official yet. Waiting for it to update. I want to see it on NHL.com before anything else. I've got the drafts up here live as well. But just to see it, I want to see it officially turned in on the National Hockey League's website. So anyways, discussion I was mentioning. So you've got, I'm going to call them Phoenix. You've got the Phoenix Coyotes with the 3rd pick. You've got the Phoenix Coyotes with the 27th pick. And you got the Phoenix Coyotes with the 32nd pick. Now you look at the Sabres. We've got the 9th pick, the 16th pick, and we've got the 28th pick. So a little bit better pick in the late rounds, the 32nd to 28. We're going to get a chance at 5 players that they're not going to get a chance at, basically. If you look from that range that I gave you between 28 and 32, because 28th pick goes, 29th pick goes, 30th pick goes, 31st pick goes, and then you have the Phoenix Coyotes at 32, right? So that's 5 players. Okay, then let's take a look at their next pick. They have, if you want to go, we're going to go with the teens pick, of course. So you got the Buffalo Sabres at 16, and you've then got, where are they? Phoenix at 27. So we're actually looking to get, I don't know, I missed that. Phoenix at 27. So you're Phoenix, right? So you've got that pick. That's a big distance, okay? So that's a number of, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11 players that are going to go by that we're going to get a shot at. They're not going to get a shot at. So that's 16 players total between those ranges. And I know that this math doesn't make any sense. I think, why would you think like that? But just a way to think about it. Just a funny school of thought. That's 16 players that we're going to get a chance. They're not going to get a chance at in different situations combined. So 11 in one, 5 in the other. Now they have the 3rd pick. We have the 9th pick. That's where they beat us. That's 6 picks. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What am I talking about? 6 picks. 9 minus 3. Jeez. A little off today, guys. A little tired from work, but either way, I'm here with you, giving you your content. So that is 6 picks, 6 more valuable picks. So would you rather have, and this is what I'm thinking, would I rather have the 3rd pick, the 27th pick, and the 32nd pick, or would I rather have the 9th pick, the 16th pick, and the 28th pick? And I think it depends on your organization, right? So if we look at Phoenix and we look at Buffalo, who's further ahead in the rebuild? I mean, that's in hockey in general, right? It's not like baseball. It's not like football. Certainly not like basketball, where you can see like, all right, this team is on paper getting better. The system, because the systems are different, right? Like you've got guys in your system that aren't even playing within your league at certain times, or even within your farm systems league, or within your league's farm system. Being the AHL, of course, the direct farm system for the NHL. You've got guys playing in the KHL. You've got playing overseas, guys playing in the juniors. It's just, they're all over the place. They're spread out, right? So it's hard to kind of keep them isolated in a spot where you can really focus, unless you're actually looking at like the home team's content, or like someone like myself that covers prospects, or is going to be trying to cover prospects as we're a new show, of course. Real quick update. We have the first pick in. Let's see here. Double checking. I want to make sure I've got my facts straight here. But yes, we do have the first pick in, and it is Juraj Slavkovsky. Not where I thought they were going. Where I thought they may have been going, but Juraj Slavkovsky. He is from Slovakia. 6'4", 229. So big boy, 6'4", 229. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a peek here. I believe he is a winger. He plays with TPS. That's his amateur team that he plays for. Of course, not in the league yet, not associated with the professionals yet in the NHL. Let's go ahead and take a peek at Juraj. That's going to take some getting used to, but I can think of some good names there. Slav, you call him Kovskis, or Kovs, Skis. I don't know. You know how hockey is. Strange nicknames. Funny nicknames either way. Wacky to us, but great to them. So looking up Juraj Slavkovsky, again, from Slovakia. 18 years old, young kid, 6'4", what did we say, 259? 6'4", 229, still a big boy regardless. I myself, maybe not a big boy to me, I'm 6'5", 260, so I'm a little bit bigger. But either way, big boy, big, and from what I'm seeing, physical as well. Just trying to get his prospect sheet here pulled up, guys, and see what we've got. I'm going to go over some numbers first. I know that's usually what people want to hear. That's the bread and butter rather than a bunch of words on a piece of paper by one person. That's their opinion. So I'm going to use Elite Prospects. That's generally what I use anyways. So just taking a pick here. Taking a look here. Not a pick. Birth date, March 30th, 2004. Just to read his fact sheet here. Birth date, March 30th, 2004. So young kid, 18. Place of birth, Kozic. Yeah, that's right. Kozic, Slovakia. Okay, his youth team was HC Kozic. Not that matters. He's a winger. Of course, like I mentioned, he's a winger. He predominantly plays in the left wing. He's a lefty shooter. Okay, taking a peek here. Actually, it's weird. They have him weighing in at 218 pounds on Elite Prospects. I wonder where what the difference is there. 218. That's not like a small number either. It's not like we'll see a reach in football and the reach is like, or even like a 40 time. It's like, oh, it's 0.2 of a second off. This is like big. That's 11 pounds. And when you're going up against guys like on the other side, like quick guys, fast guys, Nathan McKinnon, or even bigger body guys, like maybe not even bigger, but just more aggressive, Milan Lucic, who we don't like as Sabres fans because he's a scumbag and he ran over Ryan Miller, but Milan Lucic, more aggressive. Those pounds matter. You know what I mean? Like you're going to try and stand up against guys. In Zdeno Chara, of course, maybe not the best example here, but a guy that's going to be retiring if hasn't already retired already, an older guy, but he's a big guy still, nonetheless. So those 11 pounds matter. So Montreal obviously knows the real numbers, but something to look at in the coming future. Maybe he'll be losing weight or gaining weight. We'll see what happens there. But just to go over his numbers, look at his production. Just getting that pulled up here. His most recent stats, like I said, he played with TPS, but he did also play in the International Juniors competition. Taking a peek, let's take a peek at that tournament, how he did with that tournament. Just in general, when he played for Slovakia, he played for the under-18 team, of course. So he had played in 6 games. Well, you know what? Let's give So he played in 6 games this year. I'm looking at there's probably maybe would have been some injury concerns or maybe just layoffs at that point. But 6 games, and you can't ask for better stats than this, guys. 6 games, 4 goals, 7 assists. That's 11 points. That's roughly, and I'll round it up for him because it comes out to like 1.87 or 1.9, something like that. That's 2 points a game, okay? So he's giving you a goal and an assist every game, essentially, maybe even 2 goals in a game, but a goal and an assist. He's involved in every play, right? So I want to take a look at him. Let's see here. Plus minus, so this is important to me as well. Plus minus was 8. That's solid. You know what I mean? That means when he's on the ice, he's a contributor to his line. He contributes to his line. In the playoffs, and just taking a look here. Actually, let's look at his TPS stats now. TPS, under 20 team, of course. He played in 11 games. Let me see. 11 games total. So he played in 11 games total, 18 points again. So just kind of keep it on the beaten path with those good points. He had 6 goals, 12 assists. So I think he's a guy that might get a lot of apples in the league. He's going to be involved in a lot of plays. He's going to be, and I think in my opinion, he's going to be that guy that maybe has more assists than goals, but he's still going to give you 25 to 30 goals if he ends up being what we think he's going to be or what Montreal thinks he's going to be or what most scouts think he's going to be. A guy that is involved in a lot of plays and very skillful but doesn't always get the goal. And not that Connor McDavid doesn't always get the goal, but he's a guy that's really involved and helps to really feed and elevate his line mates more than anything. Of course, he's more of a centerman, but either way, on the wing you can do the same thing. Nathan McKinnon getting another centerman. I mean, who knows? If this guy can take draws, maybe he does play center in the league. He seems like he has great hands, right? If you're getting 11 assists, you're leading in assist in most of the leagues you're playing. And, you've got to have decent hands. You've got to make good passes. You've got to have good vision, right? So That's what I got on Urov so far. Urag, Slavkovsky. I'm going to have to take some getting used to that. Of course, Montreal is more of a rival, but we'll see how that plays out. Now on the clock is the New Jersey Devils. Taking a look here. Yep, no official pick in yet. He did play in Finland. That is for Slavkovsky, of course. From Slovakia, played in Finland. TPS was the amateur team where you're going to get most of his stats, most of his playing time came with. He did play with TPS for, let's see, he played for a number of years there. He's been playing for a while there, a couple years at least. Just trying to see if I can find like a year where he had the most points. So if you look at, and that's a little bit further back for Kosic. Let's see here. Okay, well, yeah, either way, 18 points, right? So 18 points this year. Jumping in, still waiting for the Devils to come up with their pick here. I got to imagine there's only one way they're going to go here, right? I don't know. We'll have to see, unless something's going on here, but you don't usually see huge slides coming in the – you don't usually – I'm just saying, I'm reading some news here on Twitter. You don't usually see huge slides in the NHL like you would do, like you would see maybe in the NFL or even the NBA draft. You know, NFL, they have character concerns. That's one, really any league has character concerns. I've seen it happen in baseball too, but you don't see as much in the NHL. It's kind of set in stone usually for the first goal picks, especially when there's let me correct that. Set in stone generally when you see, people like Shane Wright or someone like that in the draft that's exceptional, right? Or like Connor McDavid or anybody of that caliber, right? Sidney Crosby, Eichel, you get the drift. Either way, just waiting for the Devils pick to come in here. And it is in. It is Simon Nemec. And that was a guy that we actually had mentioned. We mentioned him a little bit. Did we? Yeah, we did mention him a little bit, didn't we? We had Simon. We probably had Slavkovsky. I don't know that we did in our top 10 from what we read from the article. But Simon Nemec, he was the defenseman that we mentioned. Also a Slovakian. I'm seeing a trend here. Size. Here's the thing. He's smaller. So I'm going to guess when I look at this prospect sheet, he's probably going to have a lot of points because I bet he's more of a skilled defenseman, that more of that Rasmus Dahlin rather than a stay-at-home traditional old-school defender. Simon Nemec, defenseman, Slovakia. He stands at exactly 6 foot tall, 199. Again, amateur league. He did stay and play in Slovakia, and he played for Nitra. So let's go ahead and look up Simon Nemec and see if we can get some numbers on him and see what we're looking at for the Devils. Also a team that's rebuilding. They had our good old friend Lenny Ruff. Just want to see what we got here. Well, I can tell you he's already got some card stock. Any card fans out there? He's already signed a ton of pucks. I got an eBay listing for like 5 Simon Nemec autographed draft pucks for like $70. No COAs, so they're not really worth anything. But let's see here. Come on, elite prospects. There you are. Okay, Simon Nemec. Again, we said 6 foot. Exactly 199 pounds. I want to see what he weighs in on elite prospects and see if they have a different number. They do have a different number, actually. So they're lower on the weight or something. Generally, these numbers are old, but they have him standing at 6'1", so apparently he got taller. So standing at 6'1", 185 centimeters for you metric folks, 192 pounds, 87 kilograms for the metric folks again. So that's 6'1", 192. Let's take a look at his point production, his most recent. So again, he's a teammate of Slavkovsky in Slovakia. So in 2022, he also played for the Slovakian under-18 team. Let's see his point production. Point production actually not as high as you might expect. So he played for Nitra, though that was his amateur team, and he had 1 goal and 25 assists. So true skilled defenseman type of numbers, right? So you're going to have low goals, high assist numbers. In the playoffs there, he had in 19 games, he had 17 points. And in the regular season, 39 games, 26 points. So as you can see, he turned it up in the playoffs. And he what would it be, quintupled? I don't even know. He had 1 goal in the regular season, 5 in the playoffs. So he really turned it on the Jets. So he had 5 goals in the playoffs, 12 helpers, apples there for a total of 17 points. Let's see here. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Now taking a peek at his time with the Slovakian team. All year he played in, it looks like we have 10 games. So he had 10 games total with the Slavs. And he had a total of 2 goals and a number of assists. So he had 2 goals. Let's see here. 2 goals. 13, 17 assists, so 19, and that looks like it's in roughly about 30-ish games, something like that. 30-ish games, 19 points. It's not bad either. So let's just read his scout, because like you guys, I'm probably a little bit wondrous as to how this guy goes second overall over some of the other guys that are in the draft. Still just looking here, nothing from Phoenix yet on who their pick's going to be. Just waiting for an update here from NHL.com, of course. So let's read the scouting profile, because that's not like a high numbers, like, oh my gosh, like a Rasmus Dahlin where it's like, I've got to take this guy. So he probably plays some good defense, or maybe there's something that we're missing here. He can run. There's obviously leadership quality there, and obviously the fact that he was able to turn up the power, turn up the skill in the playoffs for his amateur team, that obviously matters as well. Let's see here. Just waiting for my computer to load here, folks. So here we go. So Nemec consistently puts himself in the right positions to create. Important. He sprints up the ice in all situations, activates from the point, moves upon pass receptions, and tries the odd complex give-and-go activation play. That's obviously going to be up to his coach, but we'll see how Lindy likes to run it, right? Lindy loved his defenseman when he was in Buffalo. I don't see why it'd be any different. So there are moments of creativity with the puck, like delaying and passing cross ice for a clean breakout or a fake shot becoming a pass, just as the puck leaves his stick. Pinches at the right times, that's important. Pinches at the right times and has the reactionary skill to evade pressure and maintain the zone. That is what every team wants. So I understand the pick now a bit. Now, was he worth second overall? Only time will tell. But to be able to pinch at the right times and be able to have that mindset and already know and have a little bit more, it sounds like he's mature as a defenseman right at his age. And he's a young guy. Again, what did he come in at? Let's see, what was his age? I believe he was 18 as well. He was 18. He is 18. I'm sorry. He is 18. And to be able to, this is the important thing I want you to listen to, though. And has the reactionary skill to evade pressure and maintain the zone. Guys like Cale Makar do that. Guys like Rasmus Dahlin do that. The better defensemen in the league do that, okay? Especially being an offensive game. Every sport is an offensive sport now, so I don't really hear that anymore, but every sport is an offensive sport now. It's important, right? If you can maintain the zone and you can keep possession and get another shot, even if it's another shot or two and you don't score, you do that over time, you're going to see the goals tick up. That's important. That's a very key piece, especially to a blue line. That's very important in this league today. It's always kind of been, but especially now more than ever, right? Just waiting here for Phoenix's pick to come in. Nothing yet, so we'll see what's going on here. I'm just going to take a peek at NHL.com, see what the Twitter folks are saying. Respect the Twitter folks are saying. Let's see here. Just pulling up here. I wanted to see because there's some sliding going on in this draft. If anybody's seen that, I'm kind of curious about. Kisakov is a guy that's in the house tonight. It looks like I just saw an update. Alexander Kisakov in the house today for the Buffalo Sabres, a prospect. Looks like we had a trade a couple hours ago. I want to update. This is hours ago, but just figured I'd cover it now. New York Rangers have acquired a third-round pick and a fifth-round selection in the 2022 NHL Draft, as well as a third-round pick in the 2023 NHL Draft from Colorado in exchange for Alexander Georgiev, goaltender. Maybe a guy that the Sabres could have looked at. I don't know. Anytime we see this, it's kind of like if the Bills needed a quarterback, which, knock on wood, they don't. I always do it 3 times 3, but knock on wood, they don't. Either way, just another pick, right? You see goaltenders get traded, and it's like, oh, we could have had that guy. It's like during the season, right? With Bills fans, like you see a guy go on waivers, or I see it with I'm an Orioles fan, diehard Orioles fan, big Orioles fan, and I see like guys go on waivers or like a cut or like guys are free agents, like, oh, why didn't we take a chance on that guy when someone signs him? Or like they'll be traded and be like, oh, Melvin Ingram, just an example, not that it's correct, but Melvin Ingram, oh, he was traded for a 6th-round pick. What the hell are we doing? We could have needed him. We needed him for this and that. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see how it plays out for New York. New York's obviously got like a long-term goalie already set up in place. But just to see how everything goes with it. So I'm looking. John Warrow actually said this NHL draft is off the rails. I love it. Yeah, it is a little strange. Something strange is going on here. I'm just watching because I'm seeing a slide here, and it's kind of crazy to me. So apparently, via Ranting Ron, wow, the Buffalo Sabres almost made a big trade today. Wonder what that was. I'll have to reach out to Ron. He's a good buddy of mine as well, a friend of the show. Just trying to see what he's thinking as well. I used to do a show with Ron on hockey as well, and you saw me there, and you may even see me there again at some point in the future. Never know what time can tell. So let's go ahead and take a look at the draft. I just want to see why one specific prospect that we're probably all thinking of is trading. It's weird. Shane Wright. I mean, that's what's all on our mind, right? Like, why is Shane Wright sliding so much? Could he be taking – oh, I feel so bad for the kid if he has to go to Phoenix. No pick yet from Phoenix. I don't know what's going on. There's some kind of slide going on, and we're going to probably figure out in time, but really don't know what's going on. If Shane Wright is somehow available at the 9th pick, it's a no-brainer. It's got to be done. I don't care what it is. And we just got a little closer, guys. Something's going on. Logan Cooley was just taken. Phoenix has selected. You know what? Let me announce that properly, as I've been announcing these. Okay, so we've got for the Phoenix Coyotes, Logan Cooley. So, Logan Cooley is going to go ahead and get his elite prospects pulled up after we get the cross-mention on this guy. 5'10", 180, small guy. 5'10", 180. He's a centerman, though, and he is from the great old US of A. Played in the amateur league in NTDP. USA, U18. Let's go ahead and get him pulled up. Logan Cooley. I remember seeing that name. That was another guy we mentioned, I believe, in our top 10. Let's go ahead here. Get him pulled up. Just getting him pulled up here, guys. Thank you for your patience. I know Scott had mentioned, did the Sabres choose yet? Just a minute ago. No, they did not choose yet or select yet. They do have 3 picks, 9th, 16th, and I so focused on the draft, I keep forgetting the number. 28th, 9th, 16th, and 28th. There is a player that is sliding right now, and if the Sabres can somehow trade from 9 to 4 to get this guy, I don't care what you got to give up, unless it's something like crazy, like if you got to throw in like an extra throwing player or something like that, or like a prospect that you really like in our system, like maybe Weisbach or something like that and like our 9th pick to get up there. I know that's not a lot to trade up to get up those picks, but something along those lines. He's a better prospect. He's, in my opinion, a top 6 prospect in our system. To get up and get this guy, I would grab him. Shane Wright is his name, exceptional player status. One of the things only a couple of other players have done. I believe it was John Tavares and Connor McDavid, allowed to play at a younger age in the professional league in Canada. So no, they haven't picked yet. Just getting everything. We're hoping for Shane Wright, Scott. I don't know what's going to happen. We all thought, and I think almost all the hockey world, like I said, I put money on it that he was going number 1 overall, like no-brainer. Put the card in 3 years ago. You're all good. Like we've been talking about this kid for 2 years, and somehow he's sliding. He's somehow made it past the top 3. So there's something there, and I'm going to guess. I will guess. He's so young. I will guess it's an injury. I don't think it has anything to do with character. I'm guessing it's an injury. And there's something there that these teams aren't liking. But I tell you what, at the 9th overall pick, if you're going to possibly get like a Connor McDavid type guy, but he might have an injury, I don't give a shit. Take him. You grab that guy. Because you're not going to look dumb, right? Because you have 2 more picks. You have the 16th pick and you have the 28th pick. So worst comes to worst, you look like a guy that took a chance on the prospect that probably gave you a couple of good years or had an on and off injury history. Or best case scenario, you draft a Hall of Famer that everybody lets slide until the 9th pick. So it's no brainer for me. But no, they haven't picked yet. Probably going to be, I'm guessing probably about 20, 30 minutes, but we're covering everything up until that point anyways. So we got a good content here for you, Scott. Thanks for chiming in. Real quick, just get updated on the comments here. And we've got Journey into Sleep and Relaxation. I like the name. Let's go Sabres. Let's go Sabres indeed. We do need a goalie, Scott. I saw that. We do need a goalie. Scott asked if we need a goalie. We do need a goalie. Only thing is they're really hard to come by, like in the first round. Like not hard to come by, like they're not there. Like it's not something that is done often, unless they're like a really good player, right? But we have 3 picks, and I mentioned this earlier, Scott, if you weren't here. We have 3 picks. So can we move up or not even move up? Can we take a shot on a guy in 20th overall or 16th overall? Sure, we can, right? I think this is the year to do it, if ever, because we have all these picks, right? So why not spend one on a goalie? But yeah. Okay, just jumping in. I want to get into Logan Cooley before the next pick comes. I don't think it's there yet. It's the Seattle Kraken. So if it would make sense for one team to take Shane Wright, it would be the Seattle Kraken. Young expansion team. However, they do only have, I believe, they've only got one pick in the first round. Oh, that'd be kind of chancy then. They are a young team, but if you could draft a leader like this and have him be your Connor McDavid, or dare I say it, Jack Eichel, then you take a chance on that guy. It's Shane Wright. Some people said they didn't like. I heard from a couple people that said they didn't like him. I don't know why. I think the kid looks good on film, unless it's an injury, of course. Anyways, Logan Cooley, centerman, smaller guy, 5'10", 179. I'm going to guess he's fast. Let's look at the point production. So he actually played with the Penguins juniors team. Like, you know how they have the Buffalo Sabres, the junior Buffalo Sabres. It's like a program they run down there, which some AHLers, I believe, have came through and continue to come through because we have a good hockey school here, hockey high school in Nichols. A lot of kids played junior Sabres out of there. I had a couple of friends that played junior Sabres actually as a kid. He played for the Pittsburgh Penguin Elite 14U, then 15U, then the 16U. He played for the U.S. national team, of course. So let's go over his tournament. I always like to see how the guys play in tournament because, in juniors is one thing, but I always like to see how they play in tournament because they're playing against good guys. He's also committed to University of Minnesota, which is no flop school. That's like the best, if not the second best hockey school in America. So his tournament numbers, 6 games, 10 points. Like the first guy, Mr. Slavkovsky, you can't argue that, right? He gave you 3 goals and 7 helpers, means he can pass, but he also has a mind for the back of the net. So looking at his juniors numbers from this year, with the new U.S. national under-18 team, 51 games, 75 points. So over a point a game. And here's the thing. This is balance, right? 27 goals and 48 helpers. You're involved in the play. You can dish the puck, but you can also slap it, and you can shoot the shit out of it too, and you can put it in the back of the net. So that's a guy you like to see, of course, too. So we'll see how he works out for a team in Phoenix and how that goes. It looks like we're still waiting on Seattle here. I wonder if they're looking into Shane Wright too. I wonder what's going on. We got to hear something about this. Is really, it's not that it's unprecedented, but it's strange. It's unprecedented in my time. Like, we knew McDavid and Eichel were going 1 and 2, and they went 1 and 2, right? Like, we knew of other guys who were going for. Like, we knew Rasmus Lee was going first overall, and he went. We knew Owen Power was going first overall, and he went. Right? So, I don't know. Strange. I think we all thought Shane Wright was going to go. So we'll see what happens here with Seattle. Let's see if I can get some more info pulled up on Mr. Cooley here. I like him from what I'm looking at in the stat sheet. I'll read his analysis too if I can find one here. So it looks like his main endorsements on Elite Prospect are puck handling, offensive reads, which is important, and passing. Let's see a couple more he's got. Apparently he's decent defensively. He's okay on face-offs. He's got some decent hands, and he's got some speed, which is good, right? Like, you want to have speed, especially as a centerman. Like, we see guys like Nathan McKinnon and Connor McDavid who are just quick as shit, fast as shit, fly right by you, right? And that's important in this game. Nathan McKinnon looks different out there. Jack Eichel looks different out there. Connor McDavid looks different out there. These are guys that just don't – they look different than the rest of their competition, right? I'm trying to get everything pulled up here. So we got this here. Waiting for the next pick to come in, guys. We're going to take a break here in a moment. And there it is. Oh, there it is. I was hoping. You know what? It's going to make sense for him. I'm telling you, it's going to make sense for him. I don't know why it happened, and I think we're going to look back, and we're going to be laughing at Montreal. We're going to be laughing at the New Jersey Devils, and we're going to be laughing at the Phoenix Coyotes because at number 4 overall, round of applause, please. What we've been waiting for the entire night, and how he got to 4 is just a complete joke. Drum roll, please. Shane Wright, number 4, Seattle Kraken. So they get their franchise player. They're going to pair him with Matty Beniers, and they're going to have one hell of a hockey team pretty soon, folks. They got some young prospects. They got some young guys. I like what their team did last year as far as showing some ability to pack the building is important, as we know here in Buffalo. It hasn't been packed lately, right? But Shane Wright, 6 foot exactly, 199. He played in OHL. Of course, he played in Kingston. Now I want to take a peek at what his numbers are with Elite Prospect because that's important, right? Let's see here. These numbers will probably wow you a little bit more than anything when you read the prospect sheet on him and what the scouts say. So let's see here. Shane Wright and Elite Prospects. We know he played for Kingston. From Canada, of course, so I want to say he's a local kid, but let me see where he's from. Date of birth, January 5th, 2004. He's also 18. This is the kind of guy, though, that comes in and plays this is the kind of guy that comes up next year. Like you see him opening night, that kind of guy. Rasmus Dahlin type of guy. A guy doesn't go to, the minors. Doesn't go to, in Buffalo situation, doesn't go to Rochester. It sucks. I was getting excited that we might have a chance at him, too. So I'm going to go ahead and read his prospect sheet before I give off his numbers. It's how he uses his give and goes. Off puck skating and positioning to obtain and then extend offensive zone time. That's important. The early passes that he makes really pop. Where most players try to beat the defender, he simply passes to the open teammate and lets them manage the space. He's probably the best runaway. He's probably the best runway manufacturer I've ever seen at this level. That's from, I believe, let's see who that's from. Also, the same person said, a dynamic playmaker with a sniper's release. There's virtually no easy way to stop him. I want to read this one more time. The early passes that he makes pop. Where most players try to beat the defender, he simply passes to an open teammate and lets them manage the space. He's probably the best runway manufacturer I've ever seen at this level. That's important because you know who that reminds me of? Connor McDavid. A guy that we mentioned that isn't going to have, doesn't have many goals he probably should because he passes the puck an awful lot. But he gets a lot of helpers, right? He gets tons of points. And you know why that is? Because he passes the puck. He's unselfish. He cares more about the team and more about putting up points and completely demoralizing the other team than he does his personal numbers because he knows that he's good. He knows his shit doesn't stink. You know what I mean? He knows he's probably the best player in the league and the best player in hockey right now, right? I'm not going to hear that he's better than Gretzky yet. I don't want to hear that conversation, but I don't think it's true yet. I don't think he's there yet. I think he's got ways to go. Let's win a cup first. But either way, Shane Wright is a very, very good player. I want to give his most recent numbers. Again, Kingston Frontenacs, 63 games, 94 points. That was this year. 63 games, 94 points. And look at the goals. 32 goals. That meets the sniper qualifications, right? And he had 62 helpers, 94 points total for the Canadian under-18 team, which he also wore the C for. He was the captain. He played in 5 games and had just a simple 14 points. Nothing crazy. Simple 14 points in 5 games. Just 3 points a game, right? Not to mention he's scoring almost 2 goals a game. He had 9 goals on the year, so he's averaging about 2 goals and an assist each game. So 3 points a game in Canada under-18 team who's playing against the best players in the world, also in that age bracket, which is important. I mean, that's a scale for him, right? In the playoffs for Kingston this year, 11 total games, 14 total points, and this is where I think where this kind of meets. Where was that prospect sheet on him again? Or his little endorsements. So this is where I think this is important, where this part comes in. Where most players try to beat the defender, he simply passes to the open teammate and lets them manage the space. What they're talking about, you can see here in his playoff stats, and that's 11 games, 14 points, only 3 goals, though, right? But 11 assists, 11 goals that you were directly involved in and made it happen. So that's what I got to say on Shane Wright. I think that was pretty much something that we thought would happen much earlier in the draft, but it didn't, right? So looking now, Shane Wright, best of luck to him. Was hoping that he'd fall. It still was going to be tough either way, right? But say he's passed by Seattle. You then got Philly, another rebuilding team. Columbus, rebuilding team. Well, I think they're not in rebuild, but rebuilding team. Chicago, rebuilding team. Detroit, coming out of a rebuilding team. If you got a player like Shane Wright to that offense, you don't have to spend much cap money if you get that guy. And then you have the Sabres. So there's a lot of teams you got to go through regardless. But we're going to go ahead and get a little break in here real quick. Let you guys watch some Sabres highlights from the intro video again. And when we come back, we'll talk some more hockey and see if the picks come in. As the picks come in, we'll announce them, right? And then we'll eventually get to our Sabres and see who we grab.
scare anyone. But I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason.
Come back. Welcome back. Some Sabres highlights there for you, of course. Just getting in here, waiting for the next pick. I love that hit on Burger. The next pick is in, by the way. Oh, that's an interesting last name. Winger from Sweden, 6'2", 200. Let's go ahead and get that pick announced for you guys here. That pick is from the Philadelphia Flyers, Cutter Gauthier. Another winger from Sweden, 6'2", 200 pounds, NTDP, so he played in with Cooley in the amateur league there. USA U18 under 18, so I'm assuming he probably moved here, but we'll find that out when we're looking up the. Just getting it pulled up here. Getting them pulled up here in Elite Prospects for you guys. Here. I do see we have some questions in the comments. We'll go ahead and take a peek at those after we read off Cutters. Pulls up a bunch of jewelry. That's kind of funny. Because Gauthier, of course. Very famous jeweler or creator of jewelry, I guess you could say. Jeweler, still the same, I'd say. But either way, we're going to go ahead and get into. He played at Boston College, by the way. Very nice school for hockey, of course. 18 years old. That's the trend here. I don't know if we've had a player that isn't 18 picked yet. January 19th, 2004. So he might actually share a birthday with one of our picks, or he's really close. Was it Shane Wright? Was he January? I remember. I'll have to look back. But anyways, he's from, and I'm going to say this wrong, Skellefteå, Sweden, but U.S. in the nation. So again, he must have moved here at some point. He's been here for quite a while, since 2017 at least, when he was playing for the 13U Honey Baked team. Killing it then too, but again, winger. So U.S. national team this past year, Boston College committed. U.S. They probably will allow him to go to college. Actually, or not allow him, but he probably will decide, and they'll decide together to have him go to college. Just to take a pick here, we actually flew up draft rankings. He wasn't a guy that was on the really up before this past year in the top 10, but either way, taking a peek at his stats. U.S. national team this year, he played 54 total games, 65 total points. That's definitely above modest. 34 goals, 31 helpers. I like to see that a lot because that means that you can do both very well. You can snipe and you can pass, and you got decent hands, right? If we look at the USN TDP juniors team, 22 games, 28 points. A lot of goals in that one, 19 goals. So I'm guessing he's probably on a line where he's probably carrying the line. 19 goals and 9 helpers. And what I mean by carrying the line is he's probably the best player in the line. He's carrying not a dead weight line, but a line where he's obviously the most skilled, so he's having to do most of the work. For the USA under 18 juniors team, 6 games, 9 points. So solid again. And again, as you can see, the skill level go up. He's got 3 goals and 6 helpers. So more of a helper in that regard there. Let's see here. I want to get to your guys' questions before we announce the next pick, which is not in yet. So we've got plenty of time to do this. Let's see. I'm going to try and get to everybody's questions here. Okay, let's see here. Can someone wake up? Let me go ahead and read Scott's first because he's got a longer comment in here. He said, we need a hash type player. I couldn't agree more. How do you think Sabres will do next year and in the future? Man, I miss the Adams division when we were so competitive against Hartford Whalers and Quebec Nordiques. Yes, I'm old. Yeah, well, older than me, Scott, unfortunately. Yeah, I was not around for either of those teams, really, at least as a competent fan, right? So I'm 26 years old, born in 95, so really started getting into and being able to understand, hockey at like maybe the age of like 9 or 10, where I wasn't watching those teams play. So, Both definitely had awesome jerseys. So I love their jerseys. I know one of them, and I believe it was Hartford, had like the really nice green jerseys. Those were pretty sick. And the Nordiques had some pretty dope jerseys too. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. Love to get a hashtag player. The problem is if a guy like that was known to be a hashtag player in the first round, he's gone. But like I said, they don't come very often. I mean, goalies really hit or miss, to be honest with you, in the draft. Jumping on to the next comment, we got Chewy Baca. I've seen you before, Chewy, somewhere. He said, can someone wake Adams up? He also said Shane is going to make the Habs pay, and Beniers and Wright are going to be special. So you're probably saying that as I was talking about it, because that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, Beniers and Wright on that line together, like just in general, like if they can find a way to have them be on a line together. I know positionally you have to kind of shift some things around for those two players, but they could be really dominant, right? Like it's like when you put you want to put Draisaitl and McDavid on different lines, but you just know like no, you don't want to. You know that you should put Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on different lines because it helps to carry those two lines. But you know that if you have like one line, they'd be like, oh my God, I have the two best hockey players in the world on one line together. It's just insane. But yeah, I definitely agree. Shane does say that Shane doesn't say. Which, right? Chewy says that Shane is going to make the Habs pay, and I couldn't agree more, to be honest with you. So I agree with that one there. Let's see if we got another pick coming in here yet, guys. I'm not seeing anything yet. It's Columbus, by the way. We're getting closer and closer to the Sabres pick, and I like it because a lot of those top 10 guys we mentioned last time are still available, which is really cool. So let's go ahead and take a deeper look at Carter while we have time, right? I'm trying to find if I can find some kind of prospect reading on him. So here we go. So this is on Cutter Gauthier, the Flyers pick. He's so good defensively. Well, real quick, I didn't give his measurements either today. He's 6'3", 201, so big-ass boy. 6'3" for a forward. It's not as big as Tage, but 6'3", 201. He'll probably if he could put on like 5 or 10 pounds, he'd be super big, right? But we'll see how he stacks up. So I'm going to read his, really what his scouting sheet is, his universal scouting sheet from Elite Prospects. So he's so good defensively. That's kind of strange to hear for a guy that's not a defenseman, right? Like he's a winger. So to know that he can back check and play both sides hockey, that's important, right? So two-way hockey is always important. So he's so good defensively, using his body well along the boards and in corners to win puck battles and move up ice. Offensively, he's incredibly efficient, important. The puck is on his stick. The puck is on his stick and off his stick in transition. That's important to be able to keep, and especially when you're trying to transition to a game which is much faster in the NHL with the best players in the world, it's important to be able to have a head up on transition already. But he also recognizes when he has pockets of space to initiate offense himself. That's what the best guys do. Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon. Like, they're willing to pass the puck and dish it out, same with Leon Draisaitl, but they have speed. So, like, if you give them a little bit of space, even a little bit of space, they're going to fly by you, and they're going to put a puck on net that's probably going to go in the back of the net most of the time. It also says, Gauthier is unafraid to drive the puck to the net and protect the puck nicely when he chooses to do so. So, a defensive guy that's going to put up some goals and definitely give some helpers and help to drive a line and carry a line. And I would guess along with those things, with having those traits and being an unselfish player, you're probably a half-decent leader. That's all we got for Cutter so far, though. Jumping into the 6th pick. Let's see here. Any of you Orioles fans out there? I know this is random. I'm a diehard. Orioles up 2-0. On the Angels. Not that that's important to anybody here. But 6th pick is in. It is the Columbus Blue Jackets. And their pick is... Let's see. David Jiricek, defenseman out of the Czechoslovakia. 6'3", 189. So a tall guy, more lean though. So we'll see. Maybe he puts on some weight. I'm sure they'll want him to, but he's a younger guy, of course. I would venture to guess he's 18 years old. Just gonna take a wild stab at it. Let's see here. Elite prospect. We'll look him up on there. Load. Let's see. Again, he's from the Czech. 18 years old, November 28th, 2003. So his birthday's soon. Maybe a guy that we see move up the system a little bit quicker due to his age. Let's take a look at his numbers. Played for HC Plzeň. That was his amateur team. 29 games, To be honest, guys, he's not a stat sheet guy. He's not a stat sheet defenseman, so I bet you he's a hell of a defensive defenseman. Or at least it would only make sense that he would be, right? He's also the highest. He is the highest ranked defenseman that Elite Prospects has, though. So I'm guessing he's a decent defenseman. Just maybe not more offensive minded like we're seeing a lot of the newer defensemen being, or the covetable ones. But he's also taller, right? Leaner. But I think he's going to put on some weight. If he's going to be a good defensive defenseman and physical in the NHL, he's going to put on some weight because he's not even above 200 and he's almost as tall as me. He's 6'3". But yeah, his stats: 17 games in total for Czechia. This is for the junior team. 17 games, 3 goals, 4 assists for his amateur team. Even then, 29 games, 11 points, 5 goals, 6 assists. So he has the ability to probably put the puck in the back of the net, but he's going to be a guy that's going to get you maybe 15, 20 points, 25 points. Let's say 30, 35 points at most in a season. So not a lot, half point per game guy. But I bet defensively what he's going to do is great. So we'll read the scouting report. Excuse me. And we'll see what they say about it. Juracek worked mainly defensively. Shocker. Had no problem clearing the defensive zone and under pressure. From 4 checks, he was able to bring calm even in a very difficult situation. That's important. From 4 checkers, he was able to bring calm even in a very difficult situation, which I'm assuming they would be in transition because that's very important. He used his range again in battles for loose pucks or battles along the boards. His constant scanning minimized the danger in the defensive zone, which was the biggest strength in this game. Okay, some quotables for him. Skating is the name of the game. He flows a fluid extension into a clean recovery to impart power and precision to his forward ability. He can walk the line and get a shot through traffic or load up an absolute bomb of a one-timer. Love that. Like defensive big slap shots. This kind of reminds me of a guy like Zdeno Chara. Huge slap shot, not going to score a bunch of goals, skating by you or sniping you, not going to, be flying by people and whatnot and making crazy, hand moves and dekes and whatnot. But he can walk the line and get a shot through traffic is very important. Walking the line is awesome for defensemen, especially if you got a lethal slap shot. Extremely active defenseman, doesn't hesitate when you can activate from the defensive blue line to become a threat from the high slot. So another interesting pick there. That's for the Columbus Blue Jackets, who also have a pick at 12. So maybe they were thinking this guy's not going to make it. We have another guy that we want, but this is the guy that we covet the most because they do need to kind of bolster their blue line a little bit, right? They did lose. I hope I don't get this wrong, but Seth Jones, fantastic defenseman that went to Chicago, big money. But this is a guy that can bolster it with, right? Like maybe he's not going to be Nolan Power or Rasmus Dahlin, but he's going to be a solid, maybe at some point in the future, a top pair defenseman. Obviously, if you're taking him 6 overall, top pair defenseman, but probably a second or third line defenseman. And like I said, he is November birthday, so he'll be 19. So maybe we see him, rise through the system a little bit quicker than others. But we'll see how that goes. Just waiting for this next pick to come in here, folks. You guys got any questions too? Bring them in the comments. If you got any questions, anything you want to know about, even about the game, or if you're new to the hockey draft isn't always the most, like I said, it's probably the least popular, least publicized that we hear about, or at least advertised and commercialized and marketed. So, you got any questions? Of course, put them in the chat. I'll try and answer them best you can. If you're trying to discuss or anything you want me to discuss, I'll discuss that too. Like I said, we're going to be live up till and including the 9th overall pick for the Buffalo Sabres, barring they, trade down a little bit or trade. Even if they trade up, they can only trade up. Well, because now the 7th pick has just now come in. They can only trade up 1 spot, but we're getting closer, guys, and we'll see what they take. I think it's going to be an offensive guy. I don't see them really wanting to bolt. I mean, you've got Rasmus Dahlin and Nolan Power there, 2 top number 1 overall picks for your blue line, and of course we got Henry Okihara, who has room to grow. I think he had a down season, but there's other guys there that I like as well on the blue line. And plus, we've got tons of money to sign guys too. So not really too worried about our defensive core. I would like to add another offensive piece, but most importantly, I love a goalie. If there was a goalie that I knew was going to be a for sure can't miss prospect, I'd love to take him, but I just don't know that that's in this draft, unfortunately. And not in most drafts, really. At least not at the time. You don't know that, in hindsight, but that is what it is. Go ahead and take a peek here. The new next pick. 7th pick came in. Funny enough, Kevin. Let's see here. Where is it? It's for the Chicago Blackhawks, and with the 7th overall pick, they have taken Kevin Korchinski. Kevin Korchinski, defenseman from Canada, hockey heaven. 6'2", 185. So another guy that's tall but slim. These are guys that I think we could see probably being advised to put up some weight. He played in the WHL, which is a really good hockey league. I actually had a friend that played there years ago. He played for Seattle, right? So let's go ahead and look him up on Elite Prospects, see what they have to say about Mr. Korchinski. I like that name, Kevin Korchinski. Let's see. Okay, pull him up here. Played for the Seattle Thunderbirds of the WHL. Shocker, guys. He's 18. So date of birth, June 21st, 2004. 18 years of age. And he is a defenseman, a left-handed defenseman. Let's see here. He is now at the Chicago Blackhawks. Well, they update Elite Prospects in like rapid time, man. They already have it updated. Let's see. His rankings are generally right around like if you look at all the draft boards, he's actually ranked between like 10 and 20 most. I don't really see him anywhere above. He's actually ranked by the NHL Central Scouting, which is a very well respected scouting rankings list, but named number 7 there. So I guess I'll give him that. The lowest he's ranked. So the highest he's ranked is 7. The lowest he's ranked is 19th. And that's by Elite Prospects. So we'll see what they have to say about him. Either way, his stats: played for Saskatoon Generals, Saskatoon Stallions, and the Saskatoon Generals and Saskatoon Contacts. So just age brackets that are different there. Then he went right to the Seattle Thunderbirds. I think at this time he would have been 15 or 16. 16. Played for the under-18 team when he was 16. Saskatoon Contacts under-18 team. He played in 41 games that year, 26 points. Defenseman though. This is really actually pretty impressive though. I'll be honest with you. Look at the Seattle Thunderbirds in WHL. Like I said, it's a pretty good hockey league. 67 games, he had 65 points. So you're doing almost a point per game as a defenseman. Now, is he going to be a point per game in the NHL? Probably not. In the playoffs, 25 games played, 19 points. So he kept that production up in the playoffs. That's important. His plus minus on the year with Seattle was 36. 36. So, like, solid player for sure, right? Only 4 goals, though. So I don't think he has a mind for the back of the net. Can he do it? Probably. I'm going to guess he's another guy that can probably walk the line, hit a slapper, get some deflections, why not? Something like that. Those aren't going to count as goals, of course. Maybe that's where a lot of the assists come from. Slappers from the blue line, walking the line, finding a spot, finding an angle, putting something on net, throwing shit to the net, just hoping it gets cleaned up, you know. But 4 goals, 61 assists, 65 total points. But he obviously is a good helper. I mean, he's a guy that can feed the puck, probably has great vision and great hands, great passing. So let's read what they have to say. Most prospects use the middle lane sparingly. Korchinski attacks at every touch with unwavering confidence. Once he gets the first forechecker chasing, he skates. So he's a guy that can draw attention directly at the next one. Sometimes he fakes them out with handling skills and dekes around them. Others, he passes under their stick for a long drain breakout pass. If neither is an option, he encourages the forecheckers to reach. Then he cuts back away from them before moving play to the inside. Either way, the result is the same. He's beat 2 players, meaning there's an open teammate up the ice. So again, there you go. He takes on the less savvy, exciting role to feed it to the guy so that he can do that and finish and get home and score points for his team and put pucks on net. So that's really what the goal is, right? At the end of the day, put pucks in the back of the net. Who cares how they get there? We want to win games, get W's. I know we certainly do in Buffalo. So taking a peek here, guys. Waiting for this next pick to come in and get excited. I'm getting excited. How about you guys? I'm getting pretty excited here. Let's see. We got 1 pick left. So it's Detroit coming up. And then we've got the Sabres at 9 and the Sabres at 16. Let's see what comes here. Like I said, we're going to cover up to and including the 9th pick. So we'll see what happens. For now, I'll leave you guys a little bit of break here. We'll go on a little break before we come back and announce the Detroit Red Wings pick and who that is and get to know them before we get excited for the Sabres top pick here. Let's see what's going on.
Fitzpatrick fires. Oh, caught! Steve Johnson! Touchdown, Buffalo! What a play and what a move! 28 yards! Why so serious?
Little Bills highlight there for you guys. Just something to watch. Food for thought. Bills season's coming up. I'm getting really excited about that. Actually, hockey free agency is coming up, and that's kind of something strange we didn't talk much about as we're waiting for the 8th pick to come in here. Still not in yet. Actually, it just did come in, but we will talk real quick. Yeah, just a quick update if you guys are wondering about free agency. It usually comes July 1st. This year, July 16th? I want to say it's 16th, but it could totally be the 14th. Let's see. I'm going to go with the 16th, but I can usually. Start of NHL free agency, because it just changed. Like, so my dad was mentioning yesterday, not yesterday, but a couple days ago before our last show. It's usually July 1st, and this year it is. Let's see. Actually, it was July 28th last year too. I'm used to July, the first July when I was a kid, something you could count on. But July 16th, I believe it is, that it'll start. So we'll get started with that, and we'll see what happens. There's a lot of guys that we'd love to sign. Will we? Who knows? Honestly, at this point, we'll have to see what happens and what comes down in the draft. Not that the draft matters, because you don't draft for need in the NHL. You really just don't, unless you're getting a guy like I said, like a Shane Wright, which somehow slipped. But unless you're getting a guy that's like an exceptional player, like Connor McDavid, Jack Eichel, John Tavares, Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power, in my opinion, even though they let him go to school or whatnot, but to pursue the championship, which I think helped him a bit. You don't draft for need. It just doesn't happen in the NHL. But taking a look at the pick before the Sabres pick comes in, we've got Marco Kasper. We'll give them their applaud. I need to give them applaud for the Detroit Red Wings. Detroit Red Wings select out of Austria? Sweden. Centerman Marco Kasper, weighing in at 6'1", 187. So as you can see, there's a trend. Tall guys lean. They're going to put on muscle. They're going to get bigger. They're all kids. I mean, this kid is going to be 18 as well. I just put my money on it at this point. We'll go ahead and take a peek at his elite prospects before we jump into the Sabres pick. As the Sabres are officially on the clock. Let's see here. So we've got here, Sabres are officially on the clock. We're just waiting here, hoping that we can see something happen that we want to happen to the Sabres here. So let's see here. We're getting the elite prospects pulled up here for Marco Kasper. Here he is. Played for Rogel BK in the SHL. Full cage, and a lot of advertising on those jerseys if you look at the European leagues. Let's see here. So, April 8th, 2004, 18. He was born in Innsbruck, Austria. His youth team was the Klagenfurter AC. So they've got him at 6'2", 187, so even a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter than we thought. But again, we don't know where these measurements are from. Look at his numbers here. Again, centerman. So this last year, played 11 games for the junior team, 6 points. Rogel BK, 46 games, 11 points. Rogel BK for the junior 20 team, 12 games, 13 points. So that's a little bit better. Point production doesn't seem very high. To be honest with you, his point production doesn't seem very high for the last couple of years. 2019, 2020 was his best season that I can see from the EBJH, or the EBJL, sorry, another European Hockey League. 22 games played, 63 points. That's absolutely fucking absurd. He had 29 goals, 34 helpers, 63 points. He's averaging near 3 points a game, which is insane. If you have a player that's scoring like two goals and like assist every single game, or like, you know, with him, he scored more than a goal every game. That's insane. But Marco Kasper. See what the Sabres got. No pick yet. It's waiting. I'm getting anxious here. This will be the last pick that we cover, guys. We'll talk a little bit about the pick, how he fits into the line into the Sabres lines. Currently, not that it will matter. And we won't talk about that too much, because obviously, like, this could be a guy, unless it's someone they really like, going to play maybe a year or even two in Rochester. I would guess probably a year, depending on age. But we'll see a year or two in Rochester, and then comes up and joins the big league club. Let's see here. Waiting for the Sabres pick. Getting excited. Let's see here. I want to give off some good mojo, so I'm going to play some Sabres highlights again for you guys, because I want to give off the good mojo, the Sabres.
I don't want to scare anyone, but I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason.
So we have Pavel Mintyukov. That is age 18 for the Anaheim Ducks. From Moscow, Russia. Okay, and like I said, they update this stuff really quick. They've got him already selected to the, like, they got everything already there. This is a guy that I think they might have got a value on. So his top ranking is 6 overall, and that's by the NHL Central Scouting, which is big, right? 7th by Elite Prospects. His lowest ranking is 26 by Smart Scouting, which I'm not very familiar with, so don't pay it too much mind or take it with a grain of salt, of course. His prospect or his scouting sheet reads: the 1 and 2 touch feed were his weapons of choice, and Mintyukov used them to strike with rapier like precision through any cracks in the defensive formation, and when openings weren't already there, he made them with deceptive handling, look-offs, and feints. Now with the Saginaw Spirit, 67 games, 62 points. That's pretty damn impressive for a defenseman, if I say so myself. He's a guy that it looks like had 17 goals, 45 points, 17 goals, 45 assists, helpers, apples, 62 points in 6-7 games, almost a point per game there. That's impressive, but he had a minus 14. So maybe the team in front of him was playing so well. It seems like he was doing his part at least, the very least. But yeah, beyond that, that is the last pick for the night. So guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up here for the night. Like I said, we're all set. We're getting out of here. Tomorrow there'll be a live episode. Go Sabres. Sabres with a great pick. Matthew Savoy, a guy I really liked. It's probably like my top or my second pick that I wanted for the Sabres. So I'm happy with that. We'll see how it checks out at 16 and 28, guys. If anything crazy happens, you can join us. We'll get a video out. We'll cover that tomorrow on the pre-recorded video, which wraps up the round. So we'll be talking about the prospects. The next 2 guys I think at 16 and 28 for the Sabres tomorrow. Until then, go Sabres. Stay on the beaten warpath, and you have a good night, folks.
I don't want to scare anyone, but I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason.
But I'm